All right, so today we have a clip here of Michael Knowles saying that there is no such thing as transgender people. There are just people. Trigger warning. Here it is.
Transgender people have the right to work. Transgender people have the right to a job. No, they don't. And they don't because there's no such category as transgender people. There are just people.
So Michael Knowles is saying that transgender people don't have the right to work because they are transgender. He doesn't give a reason. He doesn't give a reason as to why transgender people should not be able to work. He just says that they should not have that right. And this is nothing new for Michael Knowles. Michael Knowles has been saying things like this for a long time. Some of you might remember, back in March, he went to CPAC and literally said transgenderism must be eradicated. I made a video about it. A lot of people were talking about it. He got upset because the Daily Beast had an article that said that transgenders must be eradicated, and he said he was going to sue him. It was a complete joke. Michael Knowles threatening to sue the Daily Beast, of course. But again, Michael Knowles has time and time again positioned himself as not being a bigot. He says that he's not a bigot, and he's just following science. It's facts, not feelings. But again, there's no reason why you would say something like transgenders shouldn't have the right to work unless you are literally a bigot. There's no other reason. Because if I've said something like, well, if you vote Republican in any of your elections, local, presidential, whatever level, then you shouldn't have the right to work, that would be a problem. And I don't think that Michael Knowles or any of the people, right-wing pundits, would be okay with that, and if that was the case. But it's okay when Michael Knowles is saying it about transgender people. But they're not bigots. Remember that. They're not bigots.
There are people, and people are defined in a certain way, and people are defined by things outside of their own self-perception and their own disordered desires.
What?
There is no such thing as a transgender person.
Michael Knowles is, I already watched this clip because I didn't know if I was going to be able to play it or not. I still don't know. But Michael Knowles is getting ready to say that there is no such thing as a transgender person, and people fall into delusions, and they live not in reality. And he is the one sitting here right now, literally saying that there is no such thing as transgender people when there is such thing as transgender people. I mean, complete delusion. If you do not think that transgender people are real, you are living in a fucking fantasy. You're not living in the real world. You are completely delusional. And, I've seen a debate that David Pakman did with Michael Knowles, and I don't know how. I don't know how. David Pakman, he's a pretty calm and cool guy to begin with, but I don't know how someone can talk to this person and take them seriously. I would just laugh if I ever had a conversation with this guy.
There are just people, and some people are confused, and some people have fallen into fantasies, and some people are pursuing disordered sexual desires and fetishes. But that doesn't change who and what they really are. And so a man...
What? That didn't even make sense. He did not connect those dots at all. He still hasn't given a reason. He still has not given a reason that would not, again, make any sense. No reason he would provide would make sense, but he is still not given a reason as to why they should not have the right to work.
Does not have any right to dress up in public life as a woman. And a man does not have a right to dress up like a woman to go do whatever job he wants.
Number one, transgender, people that are transgender, they are, at least for those that complete their transition, they are not dressing up as men and women. And again, he just sat there and said that people fall into delusions. They don't live in reality. Michael, how fucking dumb do you have to be to sit there and say that transgender people? How bigoted do you have to be to sit there and say transgender people are just men dressing up like women and women dressing up like men? There's one person in this context that's not living in the real world, and it's not me.
The Supreme Court, unfortunately, has ruled that a man does have that right. And you saw this specifically in the Harris Funeral Homes case just a few years ago. And you've seen this.
But irregardless, number one, they do have that right. You do have that right. And he still, I don't understand why he cannot provide a reason. What is the reason that transgender people should not have the right to work? What is the reason? You haven't provided one yet.
In the Bostock decision,
I know
which says
why
that
he's saying it.
Civil rights protections on the basis of sex are actually, when you really think about it, civil rights protections on the basis of gender identity. And this is an absurd Supreme Court ruling, and it should certainly be overturned, as many Supreme Court rulings have been overturned in American history. But you don't have the right to do it.
He is literally anti-human rights. He talks about freedom. Daily Wire, all of their hosts, Michael included, maybe not Brett Cooper, maybe not her, but they all sit there and talk about freedom this, freedom that, and he's sitting here, literally does not want these people to exist. He does not want transgenders to exist. He's literally saying they are not real. I don't know what other word you can use other than bigot. There is no other word. Textbook definition bigotry right here, ladies and gentlemen.
And transgenderism is such a hot issue that sometimes it's difficult for the liberals to see past it.
He also says transgenderism. That is not a fucking word. That's not real. That is a term coined by conservatives because they believe transgenderism is an ideology, when, again, they don't understand that gender is a social construct. They don't understand that gender and sex are not the same thing. They're sitting there saying, liberals can't get past this. You guys don't even understand the most basic of basic science. So I don't want to hear you saying anything like, they can't get past this. You are literally so bigoted and dumb that you cannot accept basic science.
They just are so invested in transcending the boundaries of reality.
I don't know. I'm glad the clip ended there. I can't listen to any more of him speak for at least the next 3.5 weeks. Hopefully I don't see anything more of Michael Knowles, because it is just so hard, so hard to get through a clip of him talking. Just his voice kind of makes my head want to explode. But that's going to be it for the video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, press that little bell, turn on all notifications so you guys never miss an upload.